want to verify that I'm going to draw the segment here really quickly between 1, 3, and 8, 5. I want to verify not only the length of this segment using the right triangle method, but also the distance formula and slope. So what we need to do is we need to actually create the right triangle. Now, in the coordinate plane, depending on which operating system you have, you could graph a horizontal line, which would be y equals 3, which is a y value, and a vertical line. This one has an older operating system, this program does, so I have to figure out a different way. So I think I figured it out, so let's see what we can do. And you can do this even without having to draw a vertical line and a horizontal line. Works out kind of nice. So what I want to do is I want to go to Menu, and I want to go to View, and I want to view Grid. And now I have all these different points right here. So I know exactly where the other points should go. I know that my x value for my new point should be 8. And I know that my y value should be 3. So I can actually go ahead and plot points and lines. I need a point, and I want that point to be right here. And that point, I'm going to escape out of there. I'm going to go to Menu. I'm going to go to Actions, Menu, Actions, View Coordinates and Equations, and that's the point 8, 3. And that would hopefully create the right triangle. So I need to do points and lines, segments. I'm going to create the segment from here to here, and then I'm going to create the segment from here to here. Now, to verify that this is the point that I need it to be, I'm going to measure. So I'm going to hit Menu. I'm going to go to Measure. I'm going to measure the angle. And the angle has to be 90 degrees. So I click on the first point, second point, the third point. It's 90 degrees. I got a right angle. Now, in order to make sure that these distances are the same, what I'm going to do is I'm going to go to Actions, and I'm going to go to Text. Down here, I'm going to put a text box. I'm going to say that's A. Over here, I'm going to say that's B. And over here, oh, I want that one. Let me do this again, hit text. For some reason, it's not giving me another text box, but I have A, B, and then whatever that distance is. I'm going to calculate the distance. So I'm going to hit Menu, Measurement, Length, and I'm going to, that's 7.28. Now, I'm going to also calculate the distance here, which is 7, and then calculate the distance here, which is 2. So, the idea is that it should be a squared plus b squared equals c squared. So, I'm going to hit Menu, Actions, let's do that again, Menu, Actions, then Text, and up here I'm going to put quite sure why I'm only getting this. I think I have to turn off the grid. So let's escape out of that. I'm going to hit Menu. I'm going to hit View. And then I'm going to hide the grid because I got what I needed out of everything. And what I'm going to do is hit Menu, Actions, Text. And now I have another text box. So I want a squared plus b squared and this has to be equal to 7.28. But actually, I have to go back into here and I have to say, alright, I need the square root of a squared plus b squared. And I have to get rid of all of that and then hit enter. And now I want to calculate this because I have my a value, which is 7, my b value, which is 2. So menu, actions, calculate. Here's my expression. It says I want a. My a is going to be this number right here. So that's my a value. For b, I need my b number because we have to put in numbers, and I got 7.28, and that's exactly what this is. So we verified using Pythagorean theorem, where c is equal to the square root of a squared plus b squared, the horizontal and the vertical components. Now, there's another thing that we need to calculate, and I want to calculate the slope. So I'm going to measure the slope first, so I hit menu. You might have to hit graph, measurement, slope, and I want the slope of the segment, which is 0.286. Now, I'm going to move that down here. And I'm going to create another text box where, alright, there's the text box. I'm going to create it right here. I am going to put in a fraction, and in the top I'm going to call it rise, and in the bottom I'm going to call it run, because that's traditionally what our slope is equal to. So now what I want to do is I want to calculate rise over run. Now the rise is the vertical distance between the points, and the run is the horizontal distance. So let's go ahead and calculate this. So we go menu, we go actions, and then we go calculate. And I click on this, and I want to select my rise. The rise is the value 2. Now I want to calculate the run, which is 7, and I get 2 divided by 7. Alright, so I don't know what actually that is, but that makes sense, 2 over 7. So I'm going to go over to the scratch pad, which is in the first 3 keys. The second key is your scratch pad. Open that up, and I'm going to go 2 divided by 7, and then I'm going to put point after that. That kind of tells the calculator I want a decimal. And I got 0.28574. Remember that, 0.28574. And so I get out of there, and my rise was 0.286. And remember, in the scratch pad, it was 0.2857. So it rounded it to 3 places, which would be 0.286. And that's exactly what we got. So we were able to calculate rise and run by making these different values. So we can check using the right triangle. A squared plus b squared does in fact equal c squared. And if we try to go back into the scratch pad and do the calculations really quick, we can say that 7 squared plus 2 squared is equal to 53. Now, skip out of that really quick, that's 7.28. Get back here. 7.28, I know it's rounded, is 52.9984. Are those numbers close? I mean, super close? They are. That kind of tells me that a squared plus b squared does equal c squared. Even though it's not exactly, it's pretty close because the calculator rounds. So we just kind of verified not only the Pythagorean theorem using the calculator, but also the slope is the rise over the run, which is what we got with our slope here. So two other useful things that we had.